Hello, I am running ETC EOS family software on Nomad with an unlocked dongle, outputting 1024 channels through an sACN gateway. Today we're going to see how I'm doing that with my phone that is contacting this conventional lighting rig. We're going to talk about how I did that. We're going to talk about each and every piece of the puzzle here, what they all do, and how to get them. So the first step in the puzzle is ETC. What is ETC? ETC is Electronic Theater Controls. They are mainly a lighting company, mainly for theater, not for video. They do a lot of theater light boards, so if you go into really any theater that has a light board that has its own display outputs, it's probably an ETC board. So they do a lot of dimmer systems as well. So a dimmer system is what powers the lights that I'm controlling right now. This is a conventional lighting rig that has a lot of cords dangling from the ceiling that have dimmer numbers on them. If you have single parameter devices that are hot, that are conventionals, you're probably using a dimmer system, and a lot of those dimmer systems are built by ETC. So again, ETC ranges from tiny middle school theaters all the way up to Broadway theaters. The next piece of the puzzle is EOS family software. EOS family software is kind of like an operating system for a light board. So you have different operating systems for computers, right? You have Mac OS, which runs on Mac. You have Windows that runs on PC, and you also have Ubuntu and Linux and stuff. So EOS family software is the operating system that runs on a light console that ETC builds. So when you have an ETC light board with a display jack on it, and if the display is coming out of it looks anything like the software we're going to see shortly, then it's running what is called EOS family software. So ETC Nomad is what allows you to take the operating system that runs on a big fancy light console and put it on your computer. So I can go look at a theater light board and see the display we're going to see here again shortly on our light board that's like $10,000, and I can steal that operating system and put it on my laptop so that my laptop can pretend to be that light board. So you download this free software from the ETC website, and now your personal computer, your laptop, desktop, whatever, Windows, Mac, can pretend to be a light board. However, it won't actually talk to any lights. It's just pretending to be a light board. So this, with just running EOS family software through Nomad, it's just going to pretend to be a light board. It's not going to actually talk to lights like I'm doing right now with just the software. And we'll talk about how you know if it's pretending to be a light board or if it's actually a light board shortly. So all the features work inside the software. It just doesn't talk to real lights in the real world. So that's if you just downloaded it off the computer, don't have any other equipment, and you're running it on your computer, you can pretend to be a lighting software, a lighting board, but it's not actually going to talk to any real physical tangible lights. The next part in the process is the unlock dongle. So we're going to talk about this dongle right here. The unlock dongle, if you hear people talking about that, that's this. We'll get a close-up of that. So it has this green USB chip. It has the white, very thin USB chip. It doesn't really look like a USB chip, but it is. And then you have this black thing that says ETC Nomad, and it has the serial number and the ID number that tells you whose it is. So this part, or the black part, is to help keep you from losing it because it's really small. It's easy to lose. The other part is like a flash drive that has all of the Nomad software on it. So it has the Windows version, it has the Linux version, it has the Mac version on it. So you plug this into your USB port, and that lets you install it straight from this, so you don't have to find it on the ETC website. Then the third most important part, this is the unlock dongle, which actually activates this software. So we're going to do that now. Right now I'm not sure if it's still letting me talk to the lights right now, but usually it wouldn't. So we're going to go into this software. We're going to go to the live table. Right now we are in the software. It is currently activated, and I know that because it's working. But now we're going to go out of the software. So displays, exit, and get out of this. So what we're going to see is we're going to see the shell come up. We're going to see this thing here. So right now it says offline with visualizer. It says mirror, and it says augment 3D tether. It says backup, and it says offline, and it says settings. So I'm going to close out of that real quick, and I'm going to open it back up again. So if you do not have this green chip, and you open up EOS family software on your laptop, it's going to show you this. It's going to show you offline with visualizer, mirror, augment 3D tether, settings, offline. This is similar to what it would look like on a real light board, but a real light board will always show you primary right here. That button will always be primary on a real light board. But if you do not have this green chip, that will not say primary. If you want this to talk to that, you need that to say primary, and you need to select primary. Otherwise, this will not talk to that. This USB chip will make it so that that turns to primary. Okay, so I'm going to plug in the USB chip and show you what exactly this thing does. Okay, so now we are in the same software, but we're in offline mode. So this is unplugged, and now this number says channel 14 is at 43, but it's not at 43. It's at out right now. So you can even say 14 at full. Now it's at full, but it's not at full because this is not plugged in. Now we plug this guy in, exit, wait for it. Oh, now it says primary. Now we can go into primary mode. And now I'll bet as soon as this pumps up, there we go. Let's bring that down a little bit. This isn't connected yet. So 14. Okay, so that's the unlocked dongle. That's the green chip. Now, what does 1024 channels mean? That means 2 universes. One universe has 512 channels of DMX. Each channel can tell a light to do one thing at a time. So right now that light is a single parameter fixture. It only has intensity. It's either on or it's off, or it's either, it just has the one fader, right? It's on a dimmer, but it's just the intensity of the light. It's not color, it's not shutter strobe, it's not pan tilt, anything like that. It's just one intensity. That's one channel. So right now that light is only using one channel. So this output can output to 1024 of those. If you have a mover with 32 different parameters, it's a lot less lights, but it's the same amount of parameters. My unlocked dongle, I paid for that 1024. You can also pay to get more, and you can also pay to get unlimited, but that's just what I paid for. So sACN gateway, that's what this box here is. When we have ETC Nomad running an unlock with an unlocked dongle, the software side is ready to talk to real physical lights. So if I just had my computer and I just have this unlocked dongle, this software is ready to talk to that light. But if I don't have this box right here, this software can't talk to that anymore because it doesn't have a way to talk to this DMX. This 3-pin DMX is what talks to that. This allows this to talk to the real physical dimmer rack, which talks to that. Or if it was an LED light, it would just be regular DMX going straight to the light. So that's what this box does. It's powered, it's active, and then it has Ethernet coming into it. So this is outputting Ethernet signal, right? Through this, because it's MacBook Air. So Ethernet comes out of this, comes out of EOS family into this, and this converts the Ethernet signal, or the sACN streaming ACN, into 3-pin DMX, and that goes out to the rig. So this costs about $200. The stuff that ETC sells, they have their gadget and they have their puck and all that stuff. Right now in 2022, towards the end of 2022, they have a pretty severe supply shortage. So it's really hard to get those, and you have to get those through dealers anyway. I got this off of Sweetwater in less than a week for $200, and it works perfectly fine. It takes a couple seconds to set up, and it requires two additional cords or one additional cord, the Ethernet cord. No, it kind of does, because you need to have Ethernet capability on your laptop. It's not just straight USB. So you do need some beefier hardware for this. But this is $200. It's a Chauvet 2 Chauvet DJ. I'll put the link in the description. It works perfectly fine, and it can output to 2 universes. So if you have 2 universes, you're squared away. So Nomad will not work with just any DMX interface. If you have a DMX to USB interface, it may not work, especially if it's cheaper. A DMX to sACN gateway is kind of like a DMX to Ethernet converter. So if you are trying to get this stuff, the unlock dongle needs to be purchased from an ETC dealer. It's kind of like when you go to buy a new car. You have to go to a dealership. You can't buy a new car off Amazon. You can't buy it off of their website. You have to go through a dealer, right? It's the same way with this thing. And really, if you want to buy any ETC hardware at all, really. So you can't buy it off Amazon. You have to buy it through a dealer, right? So you can research that to find where the dealer nearest you is. So the unlock dongle, that's this green thing, that costed me $250 because I'm a student. And also, if you are using it for work at a school that has students, you can get the discount as well. Otherwise, it's $500. So the sACN gateway here used in this video can be purchased at Sweetwater, like I said. Any sACN gateway, anything that has Ethernet coming into it, will work with ETC Nomad according to ETC. Non-ETC DMX to USB interfaces may not work, and the only reliable test is word of mouth on the internet. Some of them work, some of them don't. It's not easy to figure out which ones will until you buy it. But I would recommend, if you're just trying to get started, if you want something that you know will work, that you can get your hands on very quickly, I would suggest going with this, as long as you have a way of getting Ethernet out of your computer. So now we understand what this means. I'm running ETC EOS family. That's the operating system on a light board that you can steal from the light board and put on your own computer. On Nomad, that's the software that allows you to put it on your computer. With an unlock dongle, that's this, you're outputting 1024 channels, which can go to a maximum of 1024 of those, through an sACN gateway, which is this box. So now we understand that. If you have any questions, put them in the comments.